Hey guys, Jordan with 2YT Politics, coming to you from a very poorly lit hotel room in Standing Rock. Uh, I know that the Supreme Court nominee was just announced, but I think this is more important, not more important, but something I needed to report right away as soon as I do it. I've been here reporting for a few days at Standing Rock, my sixth time here. And according to a North Dakota senator, John Hoeven, he issued a statement earlier today. The statement read as, "Today, the acting Secretary of the Army, Robert Speer, informed us that he has directed the Army Corps of Engineers to proceed with the easement needed to complete the Dakota Access Pipeline. This will enable the company to complete the project, which can and will be built with the necessary safety features to protect the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and others downstream. Building new energy infrastructure with the latest safeguards and technology is the safest and most environmentally sound way to move energy from where it is produced to where people need it. We are also working with the Corps, the Army Corps, the Department of Justice, the Department of Interior, and Department of Homeland Security to secure additional federal law enforcement resources to support state and local law enforcement. On Sunday, 20 additional Bureau of Indian Affairs law enforcement officers arrived at Standing Rock to assist local authorities. Also, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribal Council has asked the protesters to leave their campsite on Army Corps land." I don't know where to begin with that, but first of all, the most important thing is a few things. Number one, I'm assuming Senator Hoeven is telling the truth, that he was informed by the acting Secretary of the Army, that the acting Secretary of the Army has instructed the Army Corps of Engineers to go forward with the final easement, which means permit. However, if they do announce, my guess is it would be tomorrow or Thursday, while the Supreme Court is the main focus. Trump just picked a radical Republican to be a Supreme Court nominee. I think they would try to quietly announce this, so there's no focus on it. But I want to make something very, very clear. And make sure you understand what I'm about to say. If they do announce the final permit, it is not legal to do so. They will be issuing a final permit without the law on their side. So an environmental impact study is underway. An environmental impact study is a comprehensive study of exactly that, the environmental effects of large-scale pipeline projects. An environmental impact study was never done for the Dakota Access Pipeline. As I've reported earlier, Energy Transfer Partners, the parent company, tried to work around the edges and make it seem like this was not one long pipeline, one pipeline of 1,100 miles, but instead a bunch of smaller separate pipelines. So they did an environmental assessment, which is a joke. An environmental assessment is a much smaller study. A oil company that's building the pipeline hires an outside company to do it. And surprise, the company they hired tells the boss, "Drill, baby, drill. You're okay." When the Army Corps under former President Obama denied the final permit for this pipeline in December, as part of that, it said there needs to be an environmental impact study done. Well, the environmental impact study began, I believe, a week ago. And the environmental impact study begins as soon as the comment section opens. A comment section has opened for the environmental impact study for people to send in their comments with their thoughts on whether the pipeline should go through. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people have already done so. So if the acting Secretary of the Army is informing the Army Corps to go forward with a final easement, it's against the law. An environmental impact study, once it is underway, must be completed by law. So what I expect to happen is them to announce that the final permit has been denied. I fully expect the Standing Rock Sioux tribe will file an immediate injunction to that issue. I haven't talked to the tribe. so I can't tell you they told me that, but I've been here long enough. I've been covering this long enough that I'm 99.9% sure that they will file an immediate injunction. With that injunction, it's not clear to me if a judge immediately grants the injunction, then nothing can be done. They cannot start drilling. If that process drags out and there's not a response to that injunction, to my knowledge, they would start drilling under Lake Oahe in the Missouri River. But my gut thought is if the tribe files an injunction, a judge will have to rule on it rather quickly. If the judge is following the law, he will not grant the final easement because there's an environmental impact study done. However, if I'm being honest, I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. I have to always report the facts and also my honest take because the justice system in this country, and we've seen it through my reports and others' reports, is not exactly just. There's no promises and there's no guarantees that a judge would rule in favor of the tribe if they file an injunction. So what we have to look at is a few things. Number one, I've looked into the law. By law, once an environmental impact study is underway, it has to be completed. Period. That's just the law. There's no wiggle room there. I find it hard to believe that if they put through this final easement order and the oil company starts drilling, then I find it hard to believe that a judge would uphold that because it's very clearly against the law. And I've talked to several lawyers about this. But again, I'm in North Dakota, which the legal system doesn't apply. I just went to a hearing today for a water protector who's being railroaded through the system, totally fake charges, like many other water protectors. I have a video about that coming out. I confronted an ATF officer, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms officer. I ambushed him basically because he lied several times on the stage. He lied several times while testifying, and I confronted him. So that video will be out probably tonight or tomorrow. But North Dakota's legal system is a joke. The judges are in it. The judges are in on it. The lawyers are in on it, and the police are in on it. They're trying to protect the oil company. They're trying to ram through this pipeline for the oil company because this is Oil Town, USA. So, but the federal system, let's hope that it's still based on the law, not oil companies, not oil profits, not bought off politicians. One could only hope. I try not to let my personal feelings get in the way of reporting because I don't want to make myself the story. But I will say I've been covering this probably more than any other story I've covered in my career. And I think if they grant this final easement, the tribe files an injunction and a judge rules against the tribe, then I think we have a much bigger problem on our hands, folks. And that is, there is no law in this country. There's laws for the powerful. There's laws for the corporations. There's laws for the oil executives. And all those laws are to protect those entities. And as much as we need to protest Donald Trump, President Trump, and I've been very critical of him, we're going to have to be out on the streets on a nightly basis if they ram this pipeline through against the law. The only way they're going to be allowed to do it is if you allow them to do it. And I want to make something clear, as I always make clear. I am not talking about violent protests because police, let me tell you something, if there's one thing police and the government know how to handle, it's violence. If you meet them with violence, they'll meet you times 20. But non-stop, gigantic, huge, peaceful protest, they don't know how to respond to that. because it hasn't happened in a long time in America. But in many ways, that's what stopped the Vietnam War, if you're a student of history. Right, divest. They know how to respond when their wallets are at stake. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if you're a customer of Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, any of these banks involved in this pipeline, you do what you want to do, but that's definitely one way of stopping them. But I'm reporting this because, A, you need to know what's going on. And generally, my feeling is if this senator just issued this statement that he's been instructed by the acting Secretary of the Army that the acting Secretary of the Army has told the Army Corps about this, that they have to go through with the final permit, you're probably going to hear a formal announcement within the next day or two. But again, it's not over till it's over. I think that it remains to be seen if the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe files an injunction, which I think they will, how long a judge takes to rule on that injunction, and in the meantime, whether the company could drill. To tell you the truth, I think they're going to drill anyway, because I think they know there's no consequences under this president, President Trump. This president has made it very clear, I don't give a fuck about the environment, and I want pipelines through. He cherry picks information and facts. He says this is going to create thousands and thousands of jobs. That's a lie. It's not. He says this is good for energy independence. That's a lie. This is being used for foreign exports. But as we've seen so often with Trump, he gets away with murder and lies. And let's not excuse the Democratic Party either, because the Democratic Party accepts money from big oil and is just as much in the tank as big oil. And they didn't lift a damn finger for water protectors when they were getting shot with tear gas and rubber bullets and grenades and freezing water. Bernie Sanders did. Tulsi Gabbard did. Raul Grijalva did. Elizabeth Warren did not. Chuck Schumer did not. Nancy Pelosi did not. Dick Durbin did not. So let's not only focus on Trump, let's also focus on the Democratic Party that has let you down in this environmental movement. But if there's anything I ask of you, there's a few things. Number one, share this video and make it clear when you share that this is not legal. We need to be smarter than they are. This is not legal. Do your homework. Look up environmental impact study and the laws around that. Number two, I think the media has done a very bad job, they usually do, in reporting the most obvious fact here. President Trump is invested in the Dakota Access Pipeline. Let me repeat that. President Trump is invested in the Dakota Access Pipeline. Let me repeat that. President Trump is invested in the Dakota Access Pipeline. He has shares in Energy Transfer Partners, and he has shares in Phillips 66, which owns 25% of the pipeline. Can you imagine if Hillary Clinton was president? Oh, the Republicans would be after her, the Democrats, the progressives would be, everybody would be after her if she had financial obligations. I sure would. It's not even a conflict of interest. It's blatant corruption. You cannot have a president of the United States personally invested in a pipeline that he is ramming through. By the way, the parent company of Dakota Access Pipeline, Energy Transfer Partners, donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Trump and the RNC after Trump became the nominee. So it's a two-way street. Trump's giving them money, they're giving Trump money. So when you spread this, not only spread that it's happening, not only spread that it's not legal, spread that this president is corrupt, this president is invested in this pipeline, this president is lying about the pipeline's environmental consequences and economic positives. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Standing Rock Sioux Tribe has told water protectors to leave. I've done reports on that. If you haven't been watching the videos, I don't know what the hell you're doing. YouTube.com/TYTpolitics. I've been putting up new videos rapid fire. We have at least 7 or 8 new videos already up from Standing Rock and more to come. And you could go to our playlist, Native Americans Fight Against the Dakota Access Pipeline, which has 170 videos from my 5 months covering this. But make no mistake, President Trump just appointed a Supreme Court justice, which is supposed to be one of the top legal experts in America. At the same time, his administration is blatantly breaking the law. And this is the law and order president. So it's up to you, folks. You could put your head in your hand. You could shed some tears, or you could continue to fight. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not over till that oil is flowing. And I want to make something very clear. As long as there's breath in my lungs, as long as there's some marbles up there, which they're beginning to go. If you haven't seen, I'm a little bit tired and sick. But as long as I'm with TYT, I'm going to continue fighting them. Fighting people like Trump, fighting the bought-off politicians, fighting the corrupt oil executives, because you don't get your democracy back until you take it back. And it starts with things like Wolfpack. It starts with the Young Turks exposing it. It starts with you helping us expose it, sharing us, hiring more reporters, all those things. But this fight's not over. And they want you to bury your head in your hand. They want you to think it's over. So that's the bottom line. You know the news. Share the video. Watch the other videos. And I will be reporting on this as more information develops. Thank you for watching.